Good morning, everybody. Today is warm-up day 5. So for those of you who have been with me for the whole week, thank you for Christy. Hello. Good morning. We're going to be warming up today, about a 30-minute-ish warm-up. Yesterday was a little bit longer, but I felt the need to as we were on the floor. So we're going to start in just a moment. So if you need some water or to take care of yourself, just another moment or two, and then we will begin. We'll be starting standing today. Just going to adjust some things. Okay, so a little too bright. There we go. All right, so find a spot in your space where you can stand comfortably. And we're going to begin today by opening the feet a little bit wider than hip socket distance. Soft knees, soft bend in the knees. Shifting your weight to one side. Reaching up and over with that arm. So there's this curve in this side of your body. And with the other hand, clasp onto that wrist. And very gently, as you pulse the knee down, pulling gently that wrist in the opposite direction to feel a stretch all the way through your side body. Stretch and release. Stretch and release. Very gently. Stretch and release. Stretch and release. And come up. You can drop your arms for a moment and just see if that side of your body feels maybe a little longer than the other side, a bit more open. See how that feels. And then shift your weight to the other side. Reach up and over with that arm. Clasp onto the wrist. And then gently pulse, stretching that side body. Stretch and stretch and stretch. And one more. Stretch and come up, drop your arms and see how that side body feels. Okay, let's do that one more time, coming back to the first side. So reaching up and over. So again, you really want to lean into that hip. What I find sometimes my students do is they go the opposite way, sort of like Saturday Night Fever. So you really want to lean into that hip. So you're bending that knee. I know the screen might be cutting it off, but you're bending that knee. There's a C curve on that side of your body, clasping onto the wrist. And then if you know the breathing in on a whispered ka, then you'll breathe in on a whispered ka as you stretch, breathe out as you relax. If you don't know the whispered ka, then just yawn in with breath. So I'll do the yawning. So yawning in on breath and out. Yawning in. And as you yawn in, think of the breath going all the way down to that side body, all the way down to that hip socket. And then come up. Drop your arms again and see how that feels. And then come to the other side. This time I'll do it with the whispered ka. So reaching up and over and think of sending the breath down all the way to that hip socket. One more. Coming up, dropping the arms, and seeing how that feels. Feeling maybe a bit more live in your breath, a bit more space in the lungs. Be really helpful in the morning. So now we're going to come stretch the front ribs. So I'll show you from the side. So standing comfortably, my feet can come back in underneath my hip sockets here. Slight bend in the knees. The tailbone goes back. You're going to arch through the spine all the way to the head and neck. All right, so again, from a neutral spine, slight bend in the knees. Tailbone goes back, arching through the spine. Now, when you get to the shoulder blades, this is very complex for the morning, but we're going for it. When we get to the shoulder blades, the arms come out in front of you. I'll lower them so you can see me. Arms come out in front of you as though these are your wings and you're a great big eagle. Good. And now from there, just a gentle pulse. The arms go slightly back as you yawn in. And then relax. Or breathing in and out on the whispered ka. Yawning into your front ribs. Or breathing in on the ka. And now from there, your tailbone comes forward. You're going to round your back, round your spine. Your arms come forward as if you're a bear hugging a tree. I'll show you on an angle here. And now as you yawn in, or as you breathe in and out on a whispered ka, think of that breath going into your back ribs and then a slight pulse. Your arms come slightly away from your shoulder blades for that stretch. Drop your arms, give them a little shake if you need, and see if you feel that's opened up a bit more space in the front ribs, a bit more space in the back ribs. Good morning, Tess. Hello, Rob. Hi, Tim. So let's do that one more time. So the front ribs and the back ribs. So I'll show you again from the side. Feet underneath your hip sockets, slight bend in your knee, soft bend. Tailbone goes back, gently arching through the spine. When you come to the shoulder blades, your arms come out and in front of you. Don't bring them too far back because that's going to pinch your scapula, but slightly in front of you. And yawning in as you stretch the front ribs. From there, tailbone goes forward, round your back, the arms come forward as though you're hugging a tree in front of you, and breathe in and out into your back ribs, either on the ka or the yawn. Drop your arms. Give them a little shake if you need to, and see how that feels now. Good. So we've stretched the side ribs, opened up that lung space. We've opened up the front ribs, and we've opened up the back ribs. So taking stock of how your breath feels right now, how your torso feels right now. Just want to see what this is like. Hello, Miss Sarah. Standing comfortably, bring your feet underneath your hip sockets. Feel a long spine. Find your long spine. Think into your elbow points and rotate them forward. Good. Make sure you haven't locked your knees. Make sure you haven't brought your shoulders along for the ride. Float your elbow points up and in front of you. As you do that, feel that opening your back ribs maybe a bit more. Knees are still soft, maybe a little wibble wobble between your knees to make sure they're not locking. Checking with those tripod points, make sure your weight's evenly balanced over those 6 tripod points. And as you float your wrists up, think into your knees. So there's a connection between those joints. Still soft knees. And as you float your 10 fingertips up, think down into your feet. Shoulders relaxed. Make sure your shoulders haven't come up. Shoulders relaxed. So thinking from your feet that are plugged into the ground, those tripod points, all the way up to your hands. So connection from feet to hands. And now let your hands drop over your wrists. Feel that little feeling of relief in your hands and the contrast between the tension in your arms. And let your wrists drop over your elbows. And feel that bigger feeling of relief and the contrast between that relief and relaxation and the tension in your upper arms. And let your elbows, let your arms drop to your sides. And that hopefully feels like an, oh, thank goodness, feeling of relief. And now take that feeling of relief into your spine. Good morning, Andrea. Let your head drop forward. Feel the relief of your head drop to your chest. Maybe a slight pull in your neck. The weight of your head now starts to take you down your spine, vertebra by vertebra. Your knees will bend a bit more as your weight drops down, negotiating the balance over your tripod points as your center of gravity changes until you're hanging from your tailbone. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite a bit of a stretch in the backs of my hamstrings, backs of my legs. They're quite tense this morning. So you might want to take your hands to the backs of your legs and from your ankles to your buttocks, sweep up a few times. So sweep from the ankles up to the buttocks to remind you of the anti-gravity in your legs. So anti-gravity is keeping your legs up. And let that drop. Good. And feel that gravity has taken your torso. So your body is experiencing gravity and anti-gravity, or levity. And thinking to the base of your spine, and start to rebuild your spine, vertebra by vertebra, bit by bit. Keeping your belly soft. It's not always so easy. Keeping your buttocks soft. Coming up just to your head drop to your chest. Take a moment there. If you've gotten dizzy, just take a moment to find your balance. And then think into your neck spine and float your neck spine back and up until it's just in alignment with the rest of your spine. Now I'd like you to think down into your knees. And with your knees, you're going to begin a soft, easy bounce. A bounce of the knees. And I'll step back a bit so you can see me hopefully a bit better. I don't know if you can. A bounce. Bounce. And bounce. And bounce and bounce and bounce. Good. We're going to keep bouncing for just a little bit here. And bounce the knees. Good. Keep going. Now, a couple of things to watch out for. It's not the upper body bouncing with it, right? So it's not like Muppet bouncing, as I often call it. You see Muppet sort of coming onto the screen and their upper bodies are bouncing. So it's not the upper body. It's really the knees. It's a soft, easy bounce. Do, 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 do. And bounce and bounce and bounce. Good. Do, do. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. And slowly let that bounce fade away like the sound of a train going off in the distance. Just stand there for a moment and see what that bouncing has done. If you feel maybe a bit more energy, maybe it's released something. I'm going to try that one more time. I just want to, because these can be a little tricky. The tendency for a lot of people is to grip in the quads, grip in the upper leg muscles. So it's not down, up, down, up. And just try that for a moment, and you can even say as you do it, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? Can you feel how much the quads are gripping on that? And that the tendency is for the knees to lock. So we don't want that. So I really want you to think that the thigh muscles are softening. They're softening, and there's a bounce and a release. So there's a drop, and then there's a rebound. Drop and rebound. Drop and rebound. Yeah? So you could try something quickly. If you imagine you have a bouncy ball in your hand, it's a very rubbery ball. If you drop that ball, there's a rebound, right? If you drop that ball, it rebounds. Drop, rebound. Drop and rebound. So you can try that for a moment. Drop and rebound. Doesn't stay on the ground. So you can let that go. So that's the feeling we want to find with these knee bounces. So let's come back to that. Tall spine, long spine, feet comfortably underneath you. And begin a soft, easy bounce in your knees. And bounce. And bounce. And bounce. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce. And bounce. And bounce. And bouncy, bouncy, bounce. Right? The quads are soft, not locking the knees. And of course, you're breathing. Check that you're breathing. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Now, we're going to keep this soft bounce going as we drop down the spine. So we begin to drop, bounce. Keep the soft bounce going. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. And bounce. And then they get to the bottom and you'll hang there and you'll keep that soft bounce going. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce. And bounce, and bounce. Ba-bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. And bouncy, bouncy, bounce. Now start to come back up through your spine as you bounce. Bounce, and bounce, and bounce. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce. And bounce. And bounce, coming all the way up. Bounce, and bounce, and bounce. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce. And one more time. We drop down, bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Keep that bounce going as you hang there. And bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Keep the quad soft, belly soft. Bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Now we'll come up, bounce. And bounce. Take your time. Bounce, bounce, and bounce. You can take as many as you need. And bounce. Bounce, and bounce, and bounce. Bounce, bounce, and bounce. Bum, ba-da-ba-da-da. You bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce, and bounce. And slowly let the bounce fade away like the sound of a train going off in the distance. And stand there and see what that's given you. See if you feel lighter, more released, more energized. And shake a foot out, shake a foot out. So standing there tall again with that bouncy body. Just because I'm feeling it right now, bring your shoulders up to your ears and let them drop. And shoulder blades up and drop. And 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 bounce. And bounce. We'll bounce the shoulder blades. And bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun. The wonderful thing about shoulders is they're the only one. Let it go. I just felt I needed that. See how that feels. And now, soft knees. Lick your lips. Give them a smack. Blow through them. Feeling your soft lips, soft bouncy lips, soft bouncy shoulders, your soft bouncy knees. Take a moment to feel your breath. Pay attention now to your breath. Feel the breath coming in and out through soft open lips, through your mouth. This natural breath rhythm. And now imagining in your middle, there's a pool of sound vibration. The next outgoing breath meets vibration, and meets vibration in your middle and turns to sound. Ha. Picture that bubble bubbling up from that source in your middle, bubbling up right into the front of your mouth. Ha. Ha ha. Double bubble. Ha ha. 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 Start to drop down your spine as these double bubbles of sound drop past your lips to gravity. Ha ha. 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 And now as you hang there from your tailbone, let those double bubbles of sound turn into a wave of vibrational relief. And on the next wave of vibrational relief, bounce your knees to see if you can bounce some sound out from your lower body. And now on the next one of these, shake your shoulders out. See if you can shake some sound out from your torso. And now in dialogue with me, double bubbles of sound will bring you back up your spine. Ha ha. 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 And now let that double bubble turn to a fountain of relief on vibration. Ha. And this time you can let your hands come up as though the vibrations come from your middle and like a fountain come and just stream all the way up through your head and neck and your arms. And let your arms drop, and from your middle, imagine that there's a little estuary, a little river of sound that's going to come from your middle down through one of your arms, and you're going to shake the vibrations out through your arm. And from the other arm, a river of vibration comes from your middle, and you shake the vibrations out to your wall, through the window, or whatever you might be seeing in your space. And now from your middle, down through one of your legs, there's a big, wide river of sound, and you're going to shake the vibrations out through your leg. Ha. And then down to the other leg. Ha. And then through one arm and through the opposite leg. Ha. And the other arm and the other opposite leg. Ha. And through both arms, through both legs. Ha. Ha. Now bring your hands to your middle, feet in that fountain of a sigh, and let your hands, we did this on the floor the other day, let your hands loosen the vibrations from your middle. So if I'm going from the side, I'm sort of going up on the diagonal to really get the organs loosening into the diaphragm. Just feel the vibrations here, no need to push. Bring your hands up across your chest and with loose fists, thump the vibrations through your rib cage. Bring your hands to the belly, jiggle up the belly to loosen, draw the vibrations up through your ribs and thump the vibrations out through your rib cage. Hands come back to the belly. Hands to the belly, jiggle to loosen, draw the vibrations up. You can thump, quick thump if you want, or you can take the thump out, draw the vibrations up, gather on a hum as your hands come to your face. Jiggle to loosen, draw the vibrations up, gather on a hum, and then open your lips behind your cupped hands and let your vibrations pour into your hands in front of your face. Hands to the belly, jiggle to loosen, draw the vibrations up, gather on a hum, release into your cupped hands when you choose to, and then release the vibrations out in front of you. Hands to the belly. Drop your hands, and now speak that thought. Ha-hum-ma. And as you speak it again, think of the vibrations beginning in your middle, coming to your lips on the hum, and releasing forward, so you can even use your fingertip to track that traffic pattern. Hum-ma. And then do that without the finger, just with your thought. Ha-hum-ma. So we'll finish up today with a little neck loosening. Okay, it's been about at our 30-minute mark, so if you have to go, thank you for joining, but if you can stay for a little longer, I'm going to get a little bit more into the neck. So let your right ear drop to your right shoulder. It might look like the left to you. I'm mirrored in the Facebook. Feel the stretch happening on that side of the neck. Make sure your shoulders are parallel. Don't let your shoulders go crooked. Breathe into that stretch in your neck. And then a little nod yes. A little nod no. And then float that side of your neck back and up until it's in alignment again. And just feel if that side of your neck feels a little different than the other side, or more than a little different. Maybe it's a little longer, a little bit more space. And now let's go to the other side. Let your ear drop to the other shoulder. Feel the stretch happening on that side of the neck. Breathe into that stretch. A little nod yes. A little nod no. And then float that side of your neck back and up until it's back in alignment. So feel that long side of your neck. Now float your chin up to the sky, to the ceiling. And you can place your hands on your chest and gently pull down on the chest as your chin reaches up. You can even bring your teeth together here to get a bit more stretch in the front of your neck here. Stretching those muscles. And bring that back. And then let your head drop forward here. Clasp your hands on top of your head. Let your elbows drop by your ears. And just, you don't even have to pull, but just let the weight of your arms help to stretch the back of the neck a bit more. And drop your arms. Think into the back of your neck and float the neck back and up until it's back in alignment. So you have 4 long sides of the neck. Now drop your head forward. Roll your head to one side. Roll it to the back. Think up as you go back. And then roll to the other side. And come back to your chest. And again, rolling the head and neck to one side. Thinking up in your upper spine as you go to the back. To the other side. And then back to your chest. Let's reverse that. Going the other way. Ear to the shoulder. Think up as you go back so that you don't close the neck and throat off in the back. And back to the chest. One more time. Rolling around. Going back and up as you go back. To the side. And back to the chest. And come up on your neck. Now you're going to sigh a hum directly to your lips. Right, so it's like HMM. There's no vowel there. Good. And as you sigh this hum to your lips, think of your tongue being relaxed on the floor of the jaw, a little space in the back of your mouth, almost like you're holding a little stone fruit, a little plum inside your mouth. So the tongue is relaxed. I call it the hum plum. You've got a humming plum in your mouth. And now you're going to drop your head and neck forward. Sigh a hum to your lips and roll your head and neck around. And let those vibrations roll around with your head and neck. So I'll give it to you first. Good. New breath and go the other way. Good. Go the other way. This time I'll give you the thought pitch with my voice. Other direction. other way. And other way. Coming up on your neck. Sigh a hum to your lips. Bring your hands to your face and just be aware of all of this vibration and resonance that you've just released from all of those neck rolls. Now you'll sigh a hum to your lips, feel the vibrations and resonance in your skull, and as you open your lips, think of drawing the vibrations out in all directions, as if you're pulling glistening cobwebs or glistening spider webs or something, sort of coming out from on all directions. And then to finish up, lay your hands across your heart center. We did a lot of opening here in the ribs, a lot of opening for the thumping and the stretching. So really opening up the heart center today. And take a moment to check in with the state of your heart. How are you feeling? How is your heart feeling? Are you feeling heartfelt? Hearty? Do you have heartache? Heartburn? Heart full of love? Just think into the state of your heart right now. And as if you could express through your vibrations the state of your heart, let that come through a sigh. Ha. Let your eyes open, let your arms drop. That's our warm-up for today. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back next week for more warm-ups. Take care.